What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today's video, we're going to be talking about some of these new datacrons and how most people probably think that they're not very good and they might be like garbage, but they actually are really good. Probably not as good as this last set with set 11, but set 12 is still not that bad of a set. Let's just kind of go over some of these really good crons, and I also wanted to share with you some of the uses of these crons in GAC and TW. So there's a lot of them right now. It's called Scorching Ambition. It goes away in March, so we got a lot of time on this one. Some of the level 9s, I would say, that are worth it. Easily going to be Dr. Afra, and we'll talk about her actually in a little bit. And then we're going to go over Boosh, and then I actually have L3 as a pretty solid one too. Other ones aren't bad. I would say the Tuskens and Jawas are really good actually, and I believe Ewoks don't have one. Never mind. That's in set 11. But the Tuskens and Jawas have an okay level 9 as long as you have all those characters with relics, so you can use the level 9s. But I feel like most people will have the other guys like L3 or Dr. Afra and Boosh Leia at level, or I guess relic 5, so you can use them at the relic level, or gosh, the set level 9s. So anyways, let's go into them. That was kind of confusing. Best one I would say in this set is going to be, well, there's really two, but I love Dr. Afra's. Basically just owns Jabba. It owns Jabba for sure in 5s. In 3v3, you do need to have a specific level 6, so it works a lot better, and we'll go over that here in a second. But then also on top of Afra, we have Boosh Leia all the way down here. This one's really awesome. It's great for Jabbas. I say it's pretty good if the opponent you're fighting in GAC knows how to go about it. Then this really doesn't make too much of a difference. And also, if your opponent sets Afra, then this is actually, it's kind of helping you on the defensive because the Night Sisters kind of struggle against this one. It kind of shuts them down a little bit. But if you have Afra, I would say, and you have this level 9 just to keep it. So, I mean, Boosh isn't that bad. I would say with the Hut Cartel, it is pretty solid, but it just depends on your opponent. You got to really watch out for if they like to set Afra or keep Afra. And then this L3 one, I don't think is too bad. It kind of just means whenever she gains prepared, she gets some more turn meter. That's a pretty big deal. And then also she, whenever she deals damage, she gets actually more damage dealt, and it's equal to 25% of her max health. So it's not too bad. Other ones here, they're kind of mediocre. Some of these Tusken ones are actually not that bad. I believe somebody was using the Warrior one in GAC, and it was like really strong actually, especially in 3s. They can't be revived if they defeat somebody with the finishing strikes, and they just start off with way more momentum. So it just is awesome. But let's kind of change it up a little bit. We'll still talk about the DCs, but I want to now talk about more of the Dr. Afra, and then I'm going to finish up talking about some of the Scoundrel level 6s. I feel like the biggest thing with this set 12 is going to be Scoundrels. So to do this, let's actually hop over to, I have a video I'm going to share with you guys. So this is the one I have. And the really big key thing here, if you guys want to use this immediately in 3v3, I would say you got to have that level 6. The first time each Scoundrel ally uses a basic ability on their turn, reset their cooldowns, gain 100% TM, and it's limited once per character per battle. So this just helps you a ton in 3s, so you can just cycle back to Afra's, health and protection recovery, her revive, and just her increase to cooldown. So it's just super awesome. And so to do this, I am going to share with you a little video. I'll have it just right down here in the bottom. I hope you guys can see this. It's going to be some tests with Afra in 3v3. So this is actually taken from an arena battle, just like in Squad Arena, but I mean, there's not much difference. If you had the Omicrons in 3v3, then okay, awesome. It makes it even easier for you. The Chrysanthemum does have he does have a Omicron in 3v3 and I guess in GAC, but it doesn't really do much in stopping this counter. But notice here, guys, as we use basics on these droids, it's gonna it's gonna first give Afra a turn, right? But then they get themselves another turn, and then what does that mean? Well, with the level 9, it just gives Afra another turn. So you're basically giving Afra, if it's in 3v3 and you have 3 different droids, you can give Afra potentially 3 extra turns pretty quick off the bat, which can cycle back to basically an immediate revive, some more damage output, some more health recovery, but I would say more importantly that increase to the cooldowns. And it's just really nice to see. I tried this in my first round of 3v3 without this level 6, and it just didn't really work. I had the one that gave out more ability blocks, but you really got to have the level 6 that gives your droids more turn meter, so that in turn it gives your Afra more turns. So here we go. We got a revive there. Our 000 did die, but we can get some more turns out of it. And, you know, it looks like we're struggling here, but as long as the droids are taking turns, you're going to be okay. And with the Siphon and the Mastery stacking there, more so, I guess, the Siphon stacking there on Afra, it increases her like tenacity, so in turn it makes it harder for the Hutt Cartel to land the thermal detonators, I guess, more so Jabba and also on Boushh Leia. But look, we're getting so much turn meter, and we're getting tons of turns here. Over time, as long as you can, you know, withstand the ongoing blows, and you can get your droids to taking those turns, you'll be just fine. I've seen people do this at Relic 5 the whole way across the board with Afra and both of the droids. It works really good. In this battle, we're trying, or not trying, we are taking down a Jabba with Relic 9, and then there was Relic 8 Chrysanthemum. I forgot the relic on the Boushh Leia, but it's working, guys. It's a super solid counter in 3v3. I would say you gotta have that one level 6, guys. It's like a must. So I would say in the meantime, try to, if you don't have it, try to re-roll for it. It took me about 4 to 5 tries to re-roll for this guy. Try to get Afra's first, of course, right? Try to get hers first, but then you got to get this, okay? And it's funny because to get Afra, she's a dark side unit, but you have to start off this whole process with a light side character. So it's a little bit confusing. You got to get a light side level 3, and then level 6, you got to have that Scoundrel. And then if you get that level 6 Scoundrel, then level 9, you have a pretty good chance of getting Dr. Afra. It's about a 1 in 5 chance, so you should be okay. Get some rerolls going, you'll be just fine. So that's the Afra counter. It's super clutch to have in 3s because that basically just means that you can set more GLs on defense, which is super huge. This round, I still don't have the level 6. I got an Afra GAC lock, so I'm going to have a little bit of a struggle here. Encountering some Jabbas, so I gotta probably use a different GL to kill Jabba and then just change up my defenses a little bit. But guys, that's that part of the video. To just wrap it up, I want to go over some of these level 6s. So I would say that for the Scoundrels, that best one would be the first time each Scoundrel ally uses the basic, they reset cooldowns and get the 100% turn meter. So that's like up there. That's like number 1, guys. Other ones that are worth mentioning, I would say, are going to be this second one right below that. Whenever an enemy is defeated by a Scoundrel ally, they can't be revived. So some of the different bounty hunters get a lot of use out of this. I would also say Commander Ahsoka, she's also a Scoundrel, so she stops some of those revives as well. And that's more so in the like JMK Cap maybe versus a Lord Vader Reva, because Reva has that held by hatred, so she gets revived. So it kind of shuts that down. I guess the last one I do want to go over, the one that defeats an enemy and then take a bonus turn isn't bad, but in some of these teams, I don't think it's going to benefit you too much. I do think on a defensive standpoint, though, however, I still think that this top one would be really awesome to see in defense with like a CLS Han team, with the basic and then the cooldowns reset and the turn meter. But I also think that this ability block one could be really annoying in a defensive standpoint. But some of these characters, if we just go to the Scoundrel faction, this is like one of the biggest factions in the game. I wish Clash was still doing YouTube so I could like collab with him on a video like this, but There's so many different different scoundrels in the game that can gain tons of benefit from this set 12. And so if you guys have some of these guys with pretty good relics and they got some decent mods, I always slap him on a defense. I think it's totally worth doing that. Some of these guys, I mean, just worth mention, like Zori Bliss. If you think about just a Zori team, for example, she is Resistance and Scoundrel. The thing is that she is basically the only Scoundrel in that really good Zori team. Not, anyone else that really can benefit from that Scoundrel, because the bros, they're not Scoundrels, right? But she is, and she can still get some nice bonuses from that Datacron. I would say a defensive Zori team with some of those like ability blocks, I think that's pretty strong, guys. I think that has some pretty good viability in a defensive standpoint. But also Scoundrels like Mauls and Maul Mandos, there are some Scoundrels there too, and I feel like that can also prove to be pretty strong. You could also, my other thought here is more of an offensive standpoint. I already mentioned some of the Han and Chewie in the CLS team. Dash, of course, right? And we've already gone over Afra, but I want to just bring up the Fennec team. Fennec and Bounty Hunters to counter Lord Vader's. I firmly believe that with some of these Scoundrel Datacrons, if you were to fight up against like a non-Reva Lord Vader, but it has like Maul and Thrawn and some of those guys, maybe more along the lines of a 5v5, I'm still sure it's going to work in 3v3. But if you have that level 6 that, gains some more Scoundrel bonuses, let's say you have this one, again, you have that basic ability, and you put that on your Scoundrel team with Fennec, I feel like that would be super strong. What you can kind of do there is you can use your special ability first to get some armor shred, and then you can cycle back to a basic her next turn, and then after that first basic, you're going to gain 100% turn meter, plus you can now reuse your armor shreds, so you can just stack up the armor shreds a lot faster. Same thing goes for a Grief's basic. You can do the basic second or third turn if you wanted to. You can do another cleanse. You can do another mass assist. I feel like this has a lot of potential in the counters to Lord Vader with the Scoundrels and especially the Bounty Hunters, guys. But that's got to be about it. I don't know anything else I could really bring up with these Datacrons, but these guys, the Scoundrel faction is totally slept on with these Datacrons. Don't forget about that Afra counter, guys. And the Boosh is still a good one. Still go for that one, even though there might be some counters to like an Afra. But it's more so just to have that insurance so that the Night Sisters can't one-shot it in a cheesy setup, right? But I think that's about it, guys, for today's video. If you have any more comments or suggestions with this Datacron set 12, let me know down below in the comments. But that's going to be about it for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Peace out.